with the Monaco GP being this weekend. It is a race that will probably be whoever starts in pole will get the race win, but it could change now because I believe starting this year with the new stipulation that 2 pit stops have to be made per race because of what happened last year in Monaco with Sergio Perez, Kevin Magnussen, and Nico Hülkenberg all crashing into each other, resulting in a red flag, resulting in everybody taking their pit stop early, and resulting, I believe, in the top 10 being the exact same as it started, if I'm remembering correctly. The first time that happened in a long time, and or even, at least in Monaco history, I think that was the first time that ever happened. Monaco is one of those tracks that is very hard to take over. It's very hard to pass in. So basically, whoever gets pole is usually going to win that. But I mean, we have seen some overtaking master classes. Michael Schumacher has done some nice overtakes in Monaco before. You know, Max, anybody, it can be anybody's race. But I think if you get on pole, you have a better chance of winning. Or really even just front row. So whoever starts on front row is going to have a really good chance of probably winning the race. So now, let's get on to who I think will be on pole for this Sunday. Now, see, I have predicted for poles, I have predicted many of people. Like Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc, Kimi. Oh, sorry, not Kimi. Max, actually, and Kimi and Imola. And I'm going back-to-back here on the hometown boys getting pole, which will probably end up jinxing them, but I'm going to say Charles Leclerc will get pole in Monaco in his home race. I think he did really good to break the Monaco curse last season. I think he will, he'll want to race hard. He'll want to get pole and win. I think is what he'll want to do. He'll want to go get pole, win that race from pole. Because he has had a bad track record when it comes to pole there. And Azerbaijan, I believe. But yeah, I'm going to say Charles Leclerc is on pole position. P5. I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton had a great recovery drive last weekend to finish in P4, I believe. Let me just fact check that. I believe it was P4. He finished in Imola. Yeah, he recovered to P4. I think, now that he kind of has a better feeling of that Ferrari, I expect him to get a top 5 again. I expect him to stay in the top 5 again. P4, I'm going to give it to Lando Norris. Lando, he did get P2 last weekend. But I mean, really, if Oscar wasn't on worn tires, I think it probably would have been a P3. If not, maybe even a P4. I think because Hamilton was vastly approaching P3. So, assuming that we had about another lap and a half, Piastri on fresh tires, so Norris never passed him. Norris could have been P4 in that race. So, he really maximized his results. But I'm going to say he ends up at P4 in Monaco. P3, I'm going for Max. Max did not get podium position. He didn't even finish in the top 5 last year at Monaco. But his last 3 races, he's been really solid. Really, Miami was hit or miss. But a win in Imola ties him for the most wins in Imola. He passes Sebastian Vettel for most laps in the Red Bull. Passes Schumacher for podiums with one constructor. I think Max is going to keep this momentum going in this weekend. Maybe he could even win it. Maybe. But I'm only going to guess P3 for him. P2, I'm going to say the hometown boy does it. He gets P2. Charles Leclerc for P2. Leclerc, yes, he won the race last year, but Ferrari has just been highly inconsistent this year. I think if anybody can do it around Monaco, it will be him. But again, you got to worry about Verstappen, the double McLaren, and even George Russell, who had an off weekend last weekend. But in P1, I'm going to say it is Oscar Piastri winning the Monaco Grand Prix. He finished, I believe, P2 last year, right behind Charles. So I'm saying they're switching up this year. So I got Oscar Piastri winning his 5th race of the year. McLaren's the hot item right now. We don't know how well that RB is going to continue with these upgrades, but I am curious to see. I'm curious to see how Max does. I'm curious to see how Leclerc does at home. Curious to see how the McLarens do. So those are my predictions for the Monaco Grand Prix. I will see you next time, probably for the race review, I think. Yeah, race review should be the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.